We all walk up the sidewalk to the old ranch-style house. It's been a long, long time since I've seen this place. Even longer since I walked on the path. Sydney's house is up on the gravel road behind the forest. It's a bit of an odd spot, secluded from the rest of the town. It was all the better for us, I guess. It's nice not to be reminded of what happened.
Guys, I don't know about this. You think he's just gonna let us in?
Have we heard a single sound yet in this game today?
Sound? Do you hear the train right now?
That was just the train, yeah, okay. As if on cue. The funny thing is that, like... Yeah, there it is. You talk about noticing the train all the time, but like I think I'm just so numb to the sound of trains growing up that I don't even register it, and I also just
but that doesn't make sense because I was explaining how I was so numb to trains because I heard a train behind my house every single day,
Yeah.
3 times a day.
Like I think I just filter it out as just being like normal life sounds, and because it's faint and quiet, I don't even think about it as coming from the game.
It's just so familiar. I keep thinking it's outside, which is funny because it's obviously not outside this house that we're sitting in.
Yeah, there's no train tracks nearby.
But also it's so familiar that every time it just triggers like nostalgia for me because it's just so familiar.
There's just something about how like a sound can just sound real.
Isn't it funny to think that some people don't live near trains at all?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just just used
Does
to
this
being
strike
inconvenient.
nostalgia for you? Sound off in the comments.
Email this web zone if you want a pizza roll. Everyone just comment pizza roll for no reason. Let's just get that train going.
Oh no.
That's
dude, I was
cynical
really...
call outs now. It's not even inspired. It's not not even like asking a question. Just fuck it.
I was really excited because I didn't know, because I think they're so wildly unpopular. I didn't know that pizza pockets or pizza rolls make non-meat ones. Because I'd never seen a non-meat one because they just only have.
It's just a sack full of cheese.
Yeah, and at my job, somebody
would you like our microwavable cheese pillows?
They brought in those for me, and I was like, "What? I've never had a pizza pocket before, and I've never had pizza rolls before," and I had to eat them. Like the pizza rolls were not as good because it was microwaved.
Yeah,
I feel like they should have been baked in the oven. But I was very excited to have this like human experience that like I've never been able to have before. They do make just cheese ones, guys.
That's weirdly nostalgic. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of those just microwaving shitty pizza rolls at the shop because I was just there living out of a freezer while I would just wait to get to go home basically.
I eat the personal little cheese pizzas all the time. Like those
pizza
are good.
That's where we got. That's why my brother and I are like incurably interested in like the Red Baron French bread pizzas because we just grew up having those every day all the time.
I was surprised that like I was making English muffin pizzas, and I don't think anyone here knew. Had you heard of them before? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Just making a pizza on an English muffin?
Yeah.
Like a Lunchable?
No, you cook it in the oven.
It's like a Lunchable.
You don't cook Lunchables in the oven?
Just make a shitty little Lunchable on your English muffin.
No, I used to eat those all the time. Like my family used to have nights where we did that regularly because it was like poor people food. But it's like I was surprised when I was making them here because like your brother was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Have you never done this before?"
No,
I've
never done that before.
Honestly, I like them
intuitive.
way
I
better
understand,
than
but...
normal pizza. I would pick.
Well, because it's from the heart. It's in your.
It's because it's sourdough English muffins.
It's just burned into your like memories.
And it's like kind of uncooked in the middle because it's just like, it's like it's
not good. That's not a good thing.
It's really fucking good.
You don't want it to be uncooked.
Yeah, English muffin. I have used pasta sauce before. You shouldn't use that. You should use actual pizza sauce. Like I said, poor people food. So, but yeah, pizza sauce, shredded cheese, and then maybe like olives or something. Pepperoni, do that. Whatever floats your boat. Put it in the oven for just like 15-ish minutes. Not very long at all. 350. Better than normal pizza. I want some right now. They're so fucking good.
It just feels weirdly high effort.
Has to be sourdough English muffin. Very important.
Because it feels like a thrown together
You make them. You make your own.
Like shitty meal thing. But then you have the high effort element of using the oven.
That's not high effort.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. And you can make them any way you want. I used to put way too much sauce on them. I think that's why mine are not cooked in the middle, because I just put so much sauce on them.
Drown it in sauce.
Yes.
How much sauce can you even put on an English muffin?
Surprisingly a lot.
I guess it's all porous inside, so it absorbs it.
Oh yeah. Really good, guys. Cookbook from Stephanie. English muffin pizzas. Go for it. Live your dreams.
I do not take responsibility for any deaths that occur.
They're so fucking good, guys. Yeah, I already read Carl's trepidation.
What else can we do?
Maybe Sydney didn't mean his room.
Well, where else would he sleep?
I don't know.
I mean,
grave.
He'd nap in random places, but if I remember right, he slept on my couch even. Wow, insightful. Stop it, Chase. You know that's not what he meant. I'm certain about this because I made
did it.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, who knows? I do. I know where it is. That dark edge to TJ's voice is creeping in again.
I suppose there's no harm in asking. You can't deny that it's a little weird for 5 young adults to just show up on your doorstep asking to be let in.
Like vampires.
Like the movie The Strangers.
We don't have much of a choice, though, do we?
Like a vampire.
We have a literal choice.
Yes, we do.
They didn't just not doing this. TJ is walking ahead of all of us, marching up the concrete steps without hesitation before immediately ringing the bell. This is like Leo stubbornness, basically, which all the more makes me think that TJ is up to something.
I hate bothering strangers. I go out of my way to not ask them for anything. Asking for directions gives me a chill. And like when I watch prank shows like the Eric Andre show, I'm like, the thought of interacting with a stranger in a way that's disruptive to their normal day is like, I can't even fathom. Like that, I would die.
I can never ask someone a question.
I cannot.
Whoa, wait. We didn't even think of what we're gonna say. I already know what I'm gonna say. We stand there in stunned silence for a bit, and I look around at the others. Carl looks completely uncomfortable, almost nauseous, his paws shoved deep into his pockets as he stares hard at the ground. Jenna is staring at TJ, her brow furrowed, clearly worried.
Her psychoanalysis brain is cranking.
Cranking. Julian just stands there as if the situation doesn't bother him at all. Okay.
Beep boop bop. Robot.
Yeah, the read is getting
yeah.
clear. Oh, I forgot about his glasses being cool. His furry glasses that wrap around the back of his ears.
Is that his one redeeming thing for you?
It's just neat neat design, like Micah's tank top, having to work around his wings. It's like Julian has glasses that actually attach to furry ears.
Furry logistics.
The door finally opens, revealing a young red panda, not much older than ourselves. He blinks at us, then fixes a smile on his face.
How would he... Hello, can I help you?
Gonna voice 4 characters in the scene. Good luck, Stephanie. The one-woman circus or improv show.
I'm so sorry, my
There we
voices
go.
are so similar. Everyone,
You did the Penny voice.
Yeah,
We haven't heard the Penny voice for a while.
Fucking Penny.
Somebody watched that series recently and got so mad at you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck you.
They're so mad. They're just so incomprehending of the idea that someone just hates Penny specifically.
Charlize Theron.
I see TJ's ears flatten down for a moment, his originally tough resolve clearly faltering. Hello? The red panda stares down at TJ for a moment, waiting expectantly. I don't recognize him, and I'm sure I would have seen him around town if he'd moved in after Sydney's parents moved out. It must have been sometime recently, a few years ago.
Why'd you move here?
Some people keep doing it. Kudzu's here.
Oh, Kudzu.
People just making life choices.
I love Kudzu.
And Kudzu came here for traumatic reasons, so this person might have a dark past.
He's a murderer.
Yep. He killed Kudzu's boyfriend.
He killed Sydney somehow.
Wait. I decide then that I should step in to let TJ try and gather his wits. Hi, I'm Chase. This is TJ and Carl, Jenna, and Julian. I point to everyone, feeling my cheeks grow hot.
Sprite! Oh, he's cute!
Look at him!
Enough. Okay, now I can't give him the nasally voice now. He's kind of hot.
What is that voice? Or was that? Is it? I guess it's just Inji.
Like Shinji.
Inji. I was not expecting a new character sprite that isn't the guest character.
Hi everyone, I'm Inji.
After a moment of awkward silence before. Another moment of awkward silence before I try to think of something else to say. How the hell do you bring up wanting to search someone's house because it belonged to your dead friend? Did you bring the evidence? That would help.
Yeah.
Just a weird note. As I'm trying to figure that out, TJ speaks up again. Our friend used to live here about 12 years ago?
Oh, really?
The panda seems to think.
Are you talking about Cindy?
Sydney, yeah. He was our friend.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't remember the name. I think his aunt told me about what happened.
Yeah, and, he left something behind for us in his room. Is it alright if we come in and look for it? Inji's originally inquisitive look is replaced by one of confusion and definitely a little bit of suspicion.
That face he's making is already pretty accurate.
Yeah, no. That might be his only face. I don't know how many, if how much they sprited him.
Oh, all of you?
I noticed Carl still staring down hard at the floor, his paws twisting in his pockets.
So cringy. Being cringy with Inji.
If that's alright with you. Inji stares at all of us for a good 10 seconds, causing even me to glance down at the floor, realizing how stupid all this is. Finally, he starts to step back, closing the door a little bit as he does.
I'm sorry, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Wait! TJ steps forward, his fur bristling. The panda jumps a little, closing the door further until it's at the point where I can only see one of his eyes. Sorry, it's just... Maybe I could come in, and the rest of my friends could wait outside? This will be really quick. I know exactly where to look. That's extremely suspicious.
That is suspicious.
That's so suspicious. The panda's one eye looks back at us. TJ turns around and makes a shooing gesture with both paws. There's a pause. Then we stumble back a little, down the steps onto the sidewalk. My face burns again in embarrassment, realizing what a bunch of crazy people we look like right now. I mean, you already knew. There's no realization. We knew how weird this was before we started.
Once again, I would say, if I was Inji, I'd be like, okay, if you know where it is, tell me. I'll go get it. I'm not letting you in my fucking house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sympathetic to your situation, y'all, but, like, this is obviously very, like, this is the biggest, it's a trap, like, red flag I can think of. It's like...
He also still hasn't brought up the note, like, the only evidence that anything is happening at all, even though you could just make a note fake, but, like just bring it up, like...
I feel bad because occasionally it's like, oh, I need help with something, and I have to be like, hey... I'm sorry, I can go call help for you, but I don't feel comfortable helping you myself.
Please help. I need help carrying this heavy thing into the back of my van.
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that, Buffalo Bill. Exactly that. All these people that kidnap people. It's like, oh, I know your mom, and like she said I can come pick you up from school. It's like, no. Or like, you know, like there was some guy that like came up to me and a bunch of my coworkers. I was locking where I work, and my coworkers were going to walk to our car, and like out of the darkness this guy walks up and he's like, hey, can I borrow one of your guys' phones? I need to call my mom. And like all my coworker, they're all girls, and they're just like not saying anything. And I was like, I'm sorry, if there's a Target over there, You should go over there and ask them for their phone. It's like, oh, well, I already did. And they said no. I'm like, you have to understand, like, we're a bunch of chicks walking to our cars at night. Like, you have to understand why I'm going to say no to this. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, good luck. And he's just all pissy. But I was like, people will turn on. They will tell people where you are. They'll put on location stuff on your phone, and people come fucking jump you later. Yeah. Like, they'll signal your house for being jumped. If they find out that you're, like, living alone or whatever, they'll post where you fucking live and stuff. Like, maybe I'm just an awful bitch for, like, not helping this guy out. But there's been several times where I'm just like, hey, I'm really sorry. I can go find you someone or something, but not me. I'm sorry. Gotta look out for number one. You know?
Yeah, no, it's good to have just any kind of thought put to that stuff. Because, yeah, you just don't know what the fuck you're dealing with. Although I had, like, really extreme versions where I think I'd be, like... There was, like, I remember my grandma being super paranoid about a car being parked next to our car in a parking lot. Like, as if they were gonna hop out and jump us because there was somebody in the car. And that stuff always felt like a little extreme. Like just in Sacramento, just normally.
Oh yeah,
that was advanced.
Like, if people like approach me, my first thought isn't like immediately like, oh, they're a bad person. It's just like, it's better to be safe, you know? It's like,
yeah.
like if I'm walking my dog, I actually won't walk past a car if their door is open, because that's also a thing people do, where they will like wait until you walk by and scoop you in their car. Like I'll cross the street and like keep walking. And I know that sounds silly, but it's like I know all the tricks, you know.
Because you've done them.
Yes, exactly.
Brian.
Because I'm the sickest person of all, and so I know in my brain all the things I would do to people. I trust no one.
What true crime does to someone's brain.
Yeah, and also just growing up with a mom from Hayward who was just like, this is all the stuff that happened to me. This isn't gonna happen to you. I'm gonna tell you all the scariest stories I can think of.
No.
Yeah.
I look back and see TJ standing alone on the porch, looking back at the panda, paws clasped together. Again, what feels like a very long silence seems to drag on until Inji opens the door slightly.
He's doing exactly what I said. You know what? Why don't you just tell me where it is and I'll have a look?
Oh yeah. TJ seems surprised, as if only now considering that idea. It's the room on the left, down that hallway. TJ points at the door at an angle. In the closet, in the back corner. It might be in a box. Inji's facial expression mirrors mine as I frown.
That's very specific.
You expect it to be in a box in their closet?
It's very specific.
Don't you think that the people who move in would replace everything?
And also, that's not really where you sleep, in the closet. I don't know.
Well, I think he had a tendency to sleep in his closet, and it was what they were implying, like it's a reaction to things. There's definitely kids that sleep in their closets, like when they won't try to hide essentially, or they just like feel they just feel different about it.
I've never had a big enough closet to sleep in.
That's the thing. But the I thought it was going to be an event, like a reasonable place that could have been...
that wouldn't be touched, hypothetically.
Yeah, it's a place where you could have reasonably left something the entire time after moving out, narratively.
Yeah, like under a floorboard,
the fact that it's just sitting in the closet,
like in a wall.
I'm like, when these people moved in, they would have cleared out the previous owner's stuff. So if it's there, TJ definitely put it there, like, yesterday. Like, he broke into their house. TJ was on a fucking, like, on a whole thing, setting up the scavenger hunt.
I want to see what Inji says, and if he finds it, because there's a lot of implications to that.
Yeah. A box in a closet? Sitting there for over a decade?
Alright, I'll have a look.
Inji disappears behind the door, and I hear a deadbolt slide into place. Yeah, that's really off-putting. It's off-putting that the moment that TJ said that he knows exactly where it is, it was like, wait, what? I thought we were, like, investigating scavenger hunt, and the clue didn't say that detail.
SpongeBob episode with Mr. Krabs and the board game map. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't this look like our board game taped to a piece of paper?
And Deadbolt slides into place. He's like, hello, police?
Yeah, exactly.
We stand there in silence for a while before Carl breaks it.
Dude, he's calling the police. Wow, we're on top of it. We're on top of it.
No, he's not.
I would go look first and then maybe call the police.
Yeah.
We look like a bunch of crazy people. We should leave.
Not until he comes back out.
I think I'm gonna be sick. I think it's technically okay unless he tells us to leave. Okay, Julian.
I guess.
He did say he's gonna look for it. No harm in just waiting for his answer.
I see Carl scuff his hooves against the pavement, looking around nervously. I wonder if he's had too much weed or something.
No, it's fucking stressful. I'd be doing that too.
Yeah. Why do you think it's in the closet? He used a shoebox in there as a spot for his treasure hunts before. You remember?
For sure.
I vaguely do, now that he mentions it, but I'm surprised TJ does. He was even younger. Then the door opens and Inji comes back out. His facial expression is completely different now. It's one of amazement and disbelief, but it's what's in his paws that catches my attention. It's a teal-colored shoebox, old and worn and torn through the corners. My mouth drops. Inji stares there for a moment, holding the box out.
Is this it? It's not mine. There's a piece of paper inside.
TJ's paws shake as he reaches out to take the box and lifts the lid to look inside.
It was in the spot that you said. I've never seen that before.
I feel my stomach twist, more dismayed than anything that he found something. Do you not use that closet? It's a bit of an odd question, but I want to know how the hell he might have missed it. Inji shakes his head.
No, not really. It's mostly a storage room right now. I think I've opened it a few times, put some boxes on the shelf, but I can't really remember.
Did you not look inside when you first moved in? Inji looks at me, and so does TJ over his shoulder. I guess now I'm sounding like a crazy person. No, you're not. These are reasonable questions.
Reasonable.
It's really weird that there's something from the previous owner from over a decade ago in your house.
Well, I can't really remember. It was a couple years ago. I had family help me move in then, so maybe they just thought it was mine if they saw it.
Okay, so there's an explanation on some level at least.
Yeah.
Is a group move-in effort, so they just got missed in the scuffle, in the shuffle. Because I'm just thinking like stuff that we still have from the previous owners. Like if there was a hidden object in this house, you have to get creative.
It's that fucking TV in the attic, dude.
Oh, I've never been in there. So
I'm scared of it. I don't want to touch it.
Like the previous owner did like refurnish this place,
in the attic.
So like there could be stuff hidden inside the walls for all we know. But just think about like if Chase came up to our house and looked for a secret object, he'd have to go in the garage and like open the lining of the old fridge or something and be like, oh, there's a secret clue in here. See, it's like nothing in my room besides the physical walls was here when I moved in. Like
I thought it was funny. Well, there's a few things because there are like remnants.
You kept some relics.
Yeah, there's some remnants from the previous owner. Like he had like the Back to the Future newspaper release on the day that Back to the Future was supposed to happen. Like the Real Life USA Today released a special edition of the newspaper on the day that Back to the Future was supposed to have happened, and so I have that framed in my room.
Yeah.
But then also, I thought there's a fridge that they left, and there's stickers on it. So I think those are interesting because there's like, it's a car.
It's not the personality of anyone here.
No, it's not. But I also thought it was funny because when we moved the fridge out of its little like, it was like enclosed with cabinets around it. And we moved it out, and there was a bunch of like wax jars for weed, like weed wax. And your brother was like, oh my gosh, was he doing hard drugs? And I was like, no, that's resin that's weed. That's just weed. But there's a whole bunch of jars behind the, like, I almost wonder if like they fell back there or like someone like maybe like a teenage son was like hiding them or something. But I thought that was really funny. He's like, oh my gosh, was he doing like heroin? And I'm like, no, that's not what that is, little baby.
Extremely vanilla. They really did draw the perfect expression on this guy for him to not have any more sprites.
Exactly.
I don't think he has any more expressions. He's like the carnival barker, where that's just his one drawing So they chose like the perfect concerned homeowner. I love him. I'm sad we'll never see him again.
Deep V tank top. He's got a deep V, bro.
No, that's a good getup. I'm
him.
sad we'll never see him again because he's not moving, which means he must not come up much.
He's cute.
He moves less than Julian. What's it? I want to ask more, but I bite my lip, not wanting to seem as frustrated and suspicious as I am.
It's definitely something I could have missed. I found a few things in the crawl space from that last family. Who lived here before you, if you don't mind me asking?
Angie leans against the doorway, his arms folded, looking a lot more relaxed now.
It was the family you're talking about, I think. The Bronsons?
Yes. TJ still looking down at the box, having not taken out the note.
Yep. The woman who lived here moved out right after what happened, but then her sister moved in. Tell me about what happened when I bought the place.
Angie looks down at the box that TJ is still holding.
Do you know what he left you? How did you know to find it?
It's, an old scavenger hunt that we found. It told us to come here.
Like, something he left behind?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry about what happened to your friend. You must have been children at the time.
No one says anything, so I nod for him.
I'm sorry. Also sorry for being so suspicious when you guys showed up. Don't be sorry about that. That makes perfect sense. Oh no! I didn't read the rest of it yet. Thought I caught someone trying to break in a few days back. Oh, fucking TJ. Fucking TJ. I mean, honestly, I would have thought that anyway. I would have thought that he put it there anyway, even with all this, like, mysterious perhaps it was there.
TJ fucking broke bad this route. What the fuck?
Dude, I think TJ's creeping me out the most.
I'm trying to imagine the idea that TJ...
His character break means the most to me.
I'm concerned about the idea that TJ may have also done all this in the other routes and just never had a chance to introduce it.
Oh, that is creepy. That is creepy, extra creepy, because he would have had no one to humor him, but he would have done it anyway. It's so fucking creepy. Can't be too careful. Don't worry about it. That's completely understandable.
Me, the guy who didn't know this situation was awkward to begin with.
Look, his face right now is like, he's just so daft. He's looking at us. Isn't that kind of funny? Like, he's looking at us.
Staring directly into our eyes.
Well, I guess Carl's looking at us. I guess Jenna, I guess everyone is, except for TJ.
Yeah, TJ.
But like, I feel like Julian's really looking at us. Julian's like,
yeah.
I'm not really a part of this. Like, I don't know what's going on.
When you have limited spreads, there's always the concern of just that they'll express a slightly different emotion than you mean for them to.
But he's just like smiling at us.
Like, I'm not sure if this TJ sprite is supposed to look as dead-eyed and like detached and bitter that as I read it as, because they use it in context where it doesn't feel correct.
I think he needs one more, because sometimes it works, but there's one that in certain situations it doesn't work. Jenna's and Carl's right now makes sense. Julian's does not make any sense, and it's making me laugh.
Well, Julian...
He's like, doop-de-doop. Like...
Carl and Jenna are potentially following along and realizing what this might mean, and Julian doesn't register much of anything.
But even with the little context Julian has, this is very creepy. Like...
Yeah.
And TJ's looking kind of smug. He's like, I told you guys, you know.
You have to be primed to suspect things.
But Julian's like, doop, doop, doop.
Angie nods, then shifts around.
I don't want to pry, but what does it say? I didn't read it since I don't want to intrude or anything. I would have fucking read it immediately.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, kill everyone in this house.
Oh god.
Challenge.
Or it's a note that says...
Next part of the challenge.
There's gonna be 5 people that show up at your door on this day. Like, when they show up, kill them all. Like, what if that's what the note said? What if it was for Angie? Angie should have read it. Just saying.
It was a warning.
Yeah, it was a warning about this happening.
Stop them. TJ lifts the lid again, then reaches in to pull out the piece of paper. It's identical to the others that we've seen. Angie takes the box from the links so they can use both paws to unfold the note. Then he starts reading. I hope you're all having fun. Soon you'll know what Chase has done.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no.
Figure it out. It's a piece of cake. If you can't, look by Carl's drawing at the lake. It goes quiet for a while. The only sound is the wind rustling through the trees. Then I hear a gagging sound and look back just in time to see Carl hurling into some bushes.
Carl's correct.
Well, sorry for new problems, Red Panda guy. Bye forever.
Yep, we'll always love you.
We reported knowing an exact object was definitely in this location in your house, and then we puked in your bushes. Bye.
Yeah, we're not going to clean it up. Bye.
Enjoy your deep V.
He will.
TJ is strangely calm as we sit in the motel room. It's been about half an hour since we found the last note. After Carl lost his lunch in the bushes, Julian drove him back home, and we had to put the scavenger hunt on hold. TJ wants us all to be there for it. Julian is still with us, and I keep wondering when the hell he's going to go home.
Oh.
He just joined our little group today, and TJ acts like he needs to be part of this for some reason. He barely even knew Sydney. But that doesn't really matter. This whole thing is so ridiculous. It's so obvious that Sydney had nothing to do with this scavenger hunt. Someone's planting these damn notes, and they have it out for me.
I wonder who it is.
It could be anyone.
Yeah, like the
Leo.
person who knows where everything is all the time.
It was Leo. That's why that one note said, take Leo with you. Specifically.
Because Leo wanted to hang out with you.
Famously clumsy and bad breaking into houses. Leo.
See, it would be funny. I would think it was Leo if like every note was like to solve this riddle, like kiss Leo on the cheek, Chase. To solve this riddle, like go have dinner with like Leo, Chase. The answer is TV dinners. It's in his fridge.
No. No.
Dig through the mashed potatoes. You'll find the next clue.
I just don't get why they didn't just all go back to Carl's house together and let him just freshen up or whatever. Like, why did they split up again? And then also, specifically, they're here back at the motel, and Julian's here with them. So Julian took Carl there. Then they're all at the motel together. I'm like, why the motel? Why is this third location? I sit with my back against the headboard of the bed, staring at my legs as TJ tries to defend this whole thing. If it's really bothering you, Chase, then you don't have to come. I bristle a bit. You're insisting everyone else go, why not me? I force myself not to look over at Julian. I do want you to come, but you're so angry. I've never seen you like this.
Oh, I have. We all have. Chase is just acting like his old self now. Fucking Jenna. That was kind of a fucking bitchy thing to say, Jenna.
Jenna sits in the corner on her laptop as usual, smirking. It pisses me the fuck off. Listen, whoever's writing these has it out for me. Look at what the last one said. Sydney wrote them, and he always kind of teased you. It's just like him. I go quiet, looking away with a glare.
What do you think the clues are implying about you, Chase?
I think for a moment, but it's hard with all the anger that keeps threatening to bubble to the surface. I don't know. I just don't like the sound of it, and honestly, I try to think of the right way to word what I'm going to say. If you respect me, you'd see that and stop this stupid hunt. It goes quiet for a moment, then Julian stands up.
Hey, I'm gonna head out. Let me know what you guys decide to do tomorrow. I've got the whole day off. So I'm definitely just gonna follow you guys around, because, like, I can't tell you guys don't want me here.
Oh, okay, man. Thanks so much for coming with us. TJ gives the stag a side hug, and I try to keep myself from bristling. I just want Chase to call TJ out. Because Chase himself has confirmed that he knows something's wrong. Not just, like, the vibes, but, like, individual details.
I mean,
like he didn't call out mentally his narration did not call out the I thought someone was breaking in a few days ago, but like he noticed the timeline being wrong for like one of the first notes where it's impossible to have been left by Sydney, and that's kind of important.
I just like I do wonder, like if I was in this situation or if you were in this situation, what it might be is like he's in a group of people and I think he might feel like he's the only person that thinks that. So it's like, so if he brings this up, it might be a whole fucking thing. And it's like, you kind of want to see how it's going to play out. So it's like, you kind of just want to watch it happen. So you don't want to like get yourself kicked out of this situation. You kind of want to let it play out further, but you're just kind of like,
It's just that I think he's already calling out that he thinks that these weren't made by Sydney.
Yeah, but like hypothetically, so like if we were in this situation, I would just lean over to you and I'd be like, yeah, so I think that Cassandra, just whoever, did this.
So he should tell Jenna or something.
And like you'd be like, oh yeah, maybe blah 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 blah. But it's like you might almost want to kind of like test the waters and see if anyone else is gonna agree with you before you decide to do a big call out with like a crazy person in front of everyone, because they might all just think you're fucking crazy. I mean, granted, I don't think Chase is crazy at all. I think he's completely right. But you might always want to like test the waters, be like, yeah, do you think that that's kind of weird? Because I think it's kind of weird. Like, are we on the same page with this? You know.
The question is, what do you think TJ is revealing here?
I think, oh my gosh, what if TJ like has dead people in his closet, or like he's a psychopath? Like, I think he's implying Chase did something to Sydney. And the drawing by the lake thing kind of throws me off, because like Carl's drawing by the lake like on that day, because wasn't Carl drawing at the lake on the day Sydney died, or does Carl just always do that?
I don't know about that specifically, but I'm just thinking that like they kept indicating that Sydney was up to something, and then the final one just so far just says what Chase did. Period.
Yeah.
If you want to know what Chase did, go to the lake.
Yeah.
It's like that sounds a lot like the one mystery this entire fucking game has been building up.
Yeah, which...
So are we going to find out that Chase killed Sydney?
I think Chase... Somebody did something. Okay.
We have the looming question, alarmingly, that... So, people were just around. It's a little fuzzy what everyone was up to individually, moment to moment, but supposedly... everyone discovered TJ staring out at Sydney's body in the lake, and so he was supposedly the one that discovered it. But the thing that's been what we've been wondering ever since we've learned more about Sydney is, how does an otter drown?
That was like, that's why I didn't think it, that's why I said early on, it's like, it must have been an animal that can't swim too good, which is like,
yeah,
I was wrong.
But we found out that it's another otter. And so somehow Sydney drowned in a lake, and we've never heard anything about him having like the sleep paralysis issues that Chase has or anything.
For a while, I mean, it doesn't really play out the way, but I thought Chase and Sydney were gonna be like the same person or something. Like, it's like Chase's alternate ego.
What do you mean? Sydney's been here all along.
Or like it's like, oh, I killed him. Now that facet of my personality is gonna be gone. It just doesn't work.
Sydney
because
is cool Chase that fucks.
Yeah, it's his Tyler Durden. Sydney is his Tyler Durden. but it's like, but I don't think that doesn't make any sense, because people in the community know Sydney, so like it wouldn't work at all.
But
so I put that to bed.
There's that moment of like, oh really? Well, you're just surprised that two people in the friend group are the same animal.
That is weird.
Which
for
would happen,
a game with furries. Like,
yeah, like that would happen in real life.
Because we're all the same animal.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, if it was a real life, if the game was just purely realistic, then yes, like, obviously there'd just be random repeats. In fact, people tend to be more alike than not in their friend groups and stuff like that.
Oh, you'd have another,
but like,
tall, blonde, punky white bitch in your friend group, Keith. You can't have that.
But art design and character-wise, like, you obviously want to diversify all the characters because it's just fun that way. In fact, anytime people are the same species, you just assume that they're literally family in these kinds of settings.
Yeah. Yeah, this
to the point where I think Duke is the same species as a character in the smoke room, and those two are literally just descended from each other. Like, it goes that far. Like how much like they're usually related when they're the same
Duke's
animal.
Isn't Duke a weasel?
Yeah.
And then the other guy's a polecat, which I had to look up later.
Yeah. Once Julian leaves out the door, TJ sits on the foot of the bed, looking at me. I completely respect you, Chase, but I really think these are from Sydney. He's just teasing you. I don't say anything, choosing to look at the wall, before feeling more unnerved by my own emotions than anything else. I don't feel like myself at all.
I know I asked you this morning, but if you think this is someone else's doing, who could it be?
Jenna crosses her arms, looking at me earnestly. I sit there quietly for a moment, debating on whether or not I should tell them. I decide I have to, since neither of the others seems to see it. I think it's Flynn.
What the fuck? Oh, jeez. I thought you were, like, being smart this whole time, like...
Flynn makes some sense, because he's the one...
Think that we would think it was Flynn?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they telegraphed it too heavily for us to not think that it's TJ. But Chase has reason to think it's Flynn. Because while it feels like a million years ago to us, they are in the days after Flynn's blow-up aftermath.
I think Flynn would just be upfront. He would just be upfront and just be an asshole or go yell at someone. He wouldn't go like do an elaborate...
Yeah, that is the reality, I think, is that Flynn wouldn't be beating around the bush here. He's literally like just yelling at TJ every day in some form on the messages and everything, and then apologizing and then yelling again or something. Why
would he have to obscure his intentions at all? He would never. And also, he's not gonna break into someone's house. He's like part of the government. Like,
but I don't see Flynn setting up an elaborate, weird, like, jigsaw trap to lure people in.
I see TJ setting up a jigsaw trap. I see TJ being Jigsaw.
Yeah.
I think TJ secretly got some like fucked up stuff in his little brain.
I don't think TJ is a particularly dark character, but I think that I think he figured out what happened, or he thinks he did, and he's trying to call out Chase because he's too much of a coward to like actually say anything. So he has this not very well thought out puzzle where every step involves doing things that would exonerate the idea that TJ would ever be the one that does it, but they're poorly thought out and clearly implausible, so somebody has to be placing them. And I think that's part of why he thinks that Flynn does it, because Flynn's a bad boy and he's so tough and cool that he would break into the old school and stuff. And he also does definitely have a grudge against Chase.
He has a grudge against like half the people here.
Yeah. But the issue is that during the big blowout, he specifically calls out TJ. So the idea that he'd be specifically going after Chase now is like a weird turn that Chase should find weirder than that.
Yeah. What?
I think it's Flynn and Carl. They're doing this whole thing.
Why would Carl be thrown up in the bushes if, like,
Because he's so nervous he's gonna get caught. Because he's a bad liar, and he discovered the note in his house.
This is a stretch.
You think someone admittedly, it's hard to imagine TJ breaking into all these places.
Carl's not gonna do any of this stuff.
Well, I think the idea is that like Flynn did all the planning, and Carl's like just an accomplice that doesn't do that much, but he like had to discover.
He's moral support.
Because Carl did discover the clue in his house that was just there all this time supposedly,
that's fair enough.
He's the one who introduced it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like TJ had to, if TJ did this, he had to plant it in a way that Carl would find and then bring up like organically. But
Carl's such a doofus. I guess that's why I think it'd be very, very easy for someone else just to be like, "Hey Carl, what's that over in the corner?" And Carl's like, "Whoa, a thing," you know. It's
just the fact that it had to be planted, and then we had to specifically like have a meeting with Carl while he was high and drunk, where he introduces it and all that. Like,
yeah, that's a little bit of a. It's
a bit of like,
coordination.
That's the riskiest part of TJ's plan, is the idea that Carl would both find it and bring it up and want to discuss it.
I mean, I think the riskiest part might also be asking that nice red panda man to like let us in his house and even believe us at all, and not just slam the door in our face and call the cops.
Yeah, but it's just, out of all the characters, if Flynn knew who did it, then we'd be having a very different game. So Flynn doesn't know who killed Sydney, but TJ is somebody who seemingly witnessed something traumatic, but also didn't know what he saw, and it makes sense that over time he might have like pieced things together essentially. so we'll see.
I'm excited.
Yeah. They're doing this whole thing.
You can't be serious.
Who else? Carl's the one who found the first note. I think Flynn gave it to him. The look on Jenna and TJ's faces makes me look away again. Am I going crazy? Chase, that's crazy, I know. But you saw how Carl was acting today. How nervous he was. He even threw up.
Carl does that sometimes.
Ugh. I slide my legs off the bed and let them hang over the side, fully facing the wall now. Chase, you blew it. You accused somebody that was a somewhat bad choice, and you didn't bring up the actual evidence that you could bring up that's about the timeline of the forest thing that would be helpful here.
Yeah.
Because the panic attack, because you were only having those panic attacks after Sydney died in that location, so he can't have a clue about it.
Yeah, you need to like build up some credibility before you like you gotta kind of be like, so this is suspicious for X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah, and then they'd be like, who do you think did it? And then you could say who you think did it. Chase presented this in the wrong order.
Yeah. I slide my legs off the bed and let them hang over the side, fully facing the wall now. I know how Flynn was back at the river, but even he wouldn't do that. I look back at TJ with a glare. What about those texts he's sending you? What? TJ's paw flies to his pocket, a shocked look on his face. Jenna looks between us.
What?
Flynn sent TJ a text swearing at him. I think he's been messaging you this whole time. TJ is quiet, just staring at me.
TJ, is that true?
TJ stares at the floor for a moment before finally looking up, his voice oddly calm. Yeah, well, he's angry. Of course he would be. But he has no reason to be riding the scavenger hunt. Flynn would never do that. You sure about that? TJ glares back at me, and now I can tell I've made him angry.
I'm sure about it because I did it.
Yes.
Why would he do it in the first place?
I don't have to think hard on that one. To hurt TJ, to ruin our friendship by making up lies about me, to just be a complete dick, take your pick. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't say anything, choosing to glare at the wall. Jenna looks between us again and shakes her head.
All right, that's enough of this. Neither of you are acting like yourselves, so I think it's best we head to bed, all right?
Whatever.
You okay, Mom?
I slide into the bed on my side, still staring at the wall, listening as TJ gets up and goes into the bathroom. Jenna goes on typing on her computer. I lay there, quietly, deciding that I'm going to have to do something to stop this. Alarming. Sneaking out of the motel room is probably the hardest part. I know that if they catch me at any point, it's over. At about 3 a.m., I slide out of bed, listening to TJ's snores and watching Jenna's unmoving form curled up on the bed in front of me. Quietly, I dig around in my bag for my keys, then slip out of the door into the night. I grit my teeth as the car stands up, imagining TJ or Jenna pulling back the curtains to see me sitting in the car. I'm sorry, I'm just a little amused by how clearly fake the sky is in this photo.
What do you mean?
Because it's the same daytime photo.
Yeah, just
extremely color filtered at this point, and they just like, we'll put this little starry sky up there. Look at it go. Add a noise filter so it looks like it's distorted.
This
you still have the extreme shadow from the
yeah, because
room.
there would be a shadow, but not like that's a pretty deep shadow.
Yeah.
It's a creepy parking lot. It does creep me out.
Yeah. I grit my teeth as my car starts up, imagining TJ or Jenna pulling back the curtains and seeing me sitting in the car. I've got excuses. I'm sick. I had to drive to the emergency room. That's a little catastrophic.
Yeah, just say you want... Yeah, I like the second one that he's about to say is much better.
Or even that I couldn't sleep and wanted to get a snack somewhere.
That makes way more sense.
They're all suspicious, but should be enough to cover my ass if things go south. I drive along the quiet road, my surroundings almost black since the moon is set. Here we go.
Oh, this is not a good road.
That could be bad. I think Lake Emma is before the Henderson monster, though. I think they pass it. Because I think it's trying to go to the lake to investigate the spot first.
My brain just went instantly to like, this road at night? Nuh-uh.
No, it's a bad time. I do not want to see the nighttime version of this road. It does not spark joy.
It does not spark joy.